My God, I hate drugs.
I just would like to tell you na bugat yung kayo sa iyaha na na-appoint niya and then kailangan niyang tanggalon. Bugat yun na kayo sa iya. Kay friends niya eh. Ano ba, usahay maano ko ba na mag-istorya mi, ayahang kabugaton ba, imbis na ka nang nakigduyog unta sila kay, sila man ang nag-persuade, nagkuan ba na mudagan. So ang iyahang ano ba is sakitan siya. Just to tell you honestly, this one is dili lamang yun ni kuan kay mura ano mag yun ni ako kay medyo emotional mag yun ni ato kay all of these are his friends ba. It's not, he doesn't enjoy it at all. So mao lang ang hangyo nako ba. Ano mang yun, he's just being true to his promise na he's going to stop corruption. So that's why, sakit man sa iyang kasing-kasing na i-fire, di ba? Wala sa'yo mahimo. So maulang ako ang ano ba na do not take it against him because from the very beginning, pagdagan pa lang niya, is promised drugs and to stop corruption. Katong time na to, when he said that, napapatingin ako sa langit. I know ang ginabangga niya, hadlok ba? Diba? It's like he's swimming sa dagat nga siyara isa galangoy gani. Ko hadlok man na iyahang ano. But I think it was his calling na mao gyud iyahang ano. That's why he's just being true to his promise na drugs, corruption, and the rest nag-follow na lang. Ang business would thrive in an environment nga dili kilkilan sa local government, dili pangayuan in advance o paganin ang sugod mga anak para mag-thrive ang business. So please do not take it against him. Kabalo ko na uban magsigi kuan nga nagsige man na siya pang kuan, pang fire. Unsa man imong gusto, pasagdan na lang. Mas gusto ninyo lang maputol, di ba? Kasi mauman iyang promise sa inyo ha.
This is Newsnight on CNN Philippines. Some Aegis Juris members may be getting jail time soon. That's as a Manila court orders the transfer of those accused in the hazing death of UST law student Horacio Atio Castillo III from the custody of the National Bureau of Investigation to the Manila City Jail. NBI Public Information Chief Nick Suarez says the order is being processed and the agency will immediately comply once necessary clearance is secured. Among the Aegis Juris members named in the order are Arvin Balag, Minwei Chan, Axel Hipe, Ralph Trangia, Oliver John Onofre, and 5 others. Has President Duterte really ordered the lifting of the total ban on workers' deployment to Kuwait? Last week, Malacanang announced the ban's lifting. The announcement was also confirmed by Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III. But in a speech at the 120th founding anniversary of the Philippine Navy, the president said he has yet to agree to lift the ban. Although he is pleased that Kuwait has agreed to his conditions for the treatment of Filipino workers there, the president said he's still waiting for Kuwait to guarantee that his demands will be met. Here's the president in his own words.
We're okay now with Kuwait. We're okay now with Kuwait. My conditions were met. That they must be guaranteed before I sign the lifting of the ban.
More than 50 people are still missing in Marawi City a year since the war broke out there, and their families have yet to find closure. Our George Quiles tells us how the grim search is going.
Abdul Basit Disumnong and Rashmia Panda are longing for this turning point. A year since their loved one, 68-year-old Abdullah Ali Disumnong, went missing.
Close kami sa kanya. Kahit half brother lang kami, minahal niya kami na parang totoong kapatid na.
The uncertainty is at times unbearable, having received a number of unverified information in searching for Abdullah. The last sighting of Abdullah, their house inside Ground Zero, around 5 days since the war broke out last year.
In-upload namin sa Facebook, walang nakakita. Pero may nag-text, nag-reply sa Facebook. Ang sabi nila, yung daw mga rebelde. Ang sabi nila, pinatay daw nila kasi ayaw sumama sa kanila. Yun ang huling-huling, parang balita namin sa kanya.
Paghingi ako ng tawa dahil iniwan ko doon sa bahay ko. Ay akala ko na mawala yung putukan. Yun lang, kung makapagkita kami, yun lang sasabihin ko. Na magpatawad na ako.
Ranao Rescue Team volunteers like Jane Perez helped find the missing. Based on their records, around 50 people are still unaccounted for from the war. The volunteers also help coordinate concerns of evacuees with authorities.
Kailangan lahat tayo magtulungan para madali at masolusyonan agad yung mga problema dito. Kasi kung isa lang, sir, hindi yan kaya. Hindi kaya ng forces namin, lalo na po wala kaming pang-transpo para agad-agad makapunta sa ibang area at hanapin yung mga taong nawawala.
In their anxious search for the lost, Abdul Basit and Rashmia go through DNA testing along with other concerned families to match their DNA with bodies recovered in the war zone.
Ipapadala po natin doon sa krami for DNA examination. Kasi yung procedure natin ngayon is collection ng standard DNA sample. And after that, ipapadala natin doon sa krami for analysis po.
Tapos sir, saan natin imamatch yan?
Imamatch po natin doon sa mga na-recover natin na mga missing po doon, yung mga skeletal, mga bones.
The local government says as of December 2017, authorities recovered 244 remains inside the war zone. Regardless of the DNA test results, Abdul Basit and Rashmia will continue searching for Abdullah until they are able to put closure on this painful memory. From Lanao del Sur, George Cahiles, CNN Philippines.
Courage, determination, and heroism. 1 year since the war in Marawi broke out, residents continue to rebuild their lives from the devastation. In a special documentary, CNN Philippines looks back at the events that led to the war, the much-awaited liberation, and the ongoing rehabilitation.
Yung lugar sa likuran natin ngayon, yan yung huling naging stronghold ng mga miyembro ng Maute Group. Nasaksihan natin yung tindi ng bakbakan dyan. Bukod sa mga airstrikes, tuloy-tuloy yung laban ng mga ground troops hanggang sa ideklara nga ni Pangulong Duterte ang liberation ng Marawi noong October 17. Sa ngayon ay wala nang taong papayagan pang makapasok dito, kaya may mangilan-gilan pang mga sundalo na nagbabantay upang masiguro nga na wala nang makakapasok pa dito sa loob ng Marawi City.
Catch CNN Philippines presents Marawi Hamon ng Pagbangon tonight at 8. The House Appropriations Committee approves the 1.16 billion peso supplemental budget for Dengvaxia vaccinees. The Health Department says it will use the money to help all Dengvaxia vaccinees who would need medical assistance regardless of their sickness. Joyce Ilas tells us more.
Paano po kung operahan yung anak ko? 100,000 ang gagastusin ko. Saan ko po yun kukunin?
Girlie Samonte says her son needs to undergo an angiogram after a vessel in his brain ruptured. The angiogram costs 55,000 pesos. Samonte says her son started to experience health problems 6 months after he was vaccinated with Dengvaxia.
Kung humihingi sa inyo ng tulong na sana ibigay po yung nararapat doon sa mga batang vaccines, hindi po kami humihingi ng sobra.
Speaking during the House Appropriations Committee hearing, the Department of Health assures Samonte that they will shoulder all the medical expenses of her son. Aside from Samonte, the DOH also assures parents of Dengvaxia vaccinees that the DOH will shoulder all medical expenses of children vaccinated with Dengvaxia. Once the 1.16 billion peso supplemental budget for Dengvaxia vaccinees has been passed into law. The supplemental budget seeks to tap the 1.16 billion pesos the Dengvaxia manufacturer Sanofi Pasteur earlier refunded to the Philippine government.
Kahit po ano ang sakit, Basta po ang bata ay na-iniksyonan ng dengue vaccine, wala pong tanong-tanong if it's connected, possibly connected or not connected to the illness. But all children, all 900,000 children po na nabakunahan, basta nagkasakit po sila at may card, whether outpatient or inpatient po, sasagutin natin yung kanilang pangangailangan.
On Tuesday, the House Appropriations Committee approved the supplemental budget. Under the bill, more than 945 million pesos will be allotted for the medical assistance program for admitted patients or outpatients. 45 million pesos will be used to pay for supplies and medicines of dengue vaccinees. And 78 million pesos will be used to pay for the salary of 1,250 nurses and health professionals that will profile, assess, and monitor dengue patients.
Isa-isa po nilang pupuntahan yung mga bata sa listahan, kukunan po ng information, ng full information, medical history, a survey po on the health status of the child, and then they will be oriented po and navigated kung saan po nila i-access ang health system kung sakali pong may maramdaman yung bata.
Should parents need assistance from the DOH, they may contact the DOH hotline at 711-1001 and 711-1002. Meanwhile, the DOH reports that as of this month, a total of 87 dengue vaccinees have already died. Of this, 11 died due to dengue, despite being vaccinated. The DOH says a failure of the vaccine is expected because the vaccine has been tested to be only 65 to 80% effective.
May mga ibang cases tayo na namatay sila na bakunahan, pero nung tinest sila for dengue antigen and for dengue antibodies, wala silang na-mount na any form of defense against dengue. So mukhang hindi talaga siya effective sa lahat.
The DOH, however, maintains that so far, there is still no direct proof that dengue vaccine caused the death of these children. Joyce Ila, CNN Philippines.
On to stories from the regions. The Environment Department and major business groups in Boracay enter into a deal for the immediate construction of sewerage treatment plants. The deal requires all resorts and other establishments with at least 50 rooms to install their own treatment plant. Those with below 50 rooms may choose to construct cluster treatment plants with neighboring establishments. Signatories to the deal include officials of Boracay Foundation, the Boracay Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, and the Filipino-Chinese Chamber Federation Iloilo chapter. One of the poorest towns in Cebu province will soon have an income source. Last Saturday, President Duterte led the ceremonial opening of the production well in an onshore oil field in Barangay Montpelier in Alegria town. Duterte said Alegria stands to earn at least 82 million pesos per month from the project. The oil field will be able to produce up to 2,000 barrels in the next 20 years. Alegria is a fourth-class town southwest of Cebu City with only 90 million pesos in annual revenue. On to another destination in the region. The town of Allen in northern Samar is not only the gateway of Eastern Visayas for travelers from Luzon, it's also home to Imaga Beach. Imaga Beach, north of Allen, offers a scenic view of San Bernardino Strait and Mount Bulusan in Sorsogon Province. It is a long stretch of pink sand, and its water is calm and ideal for swimming. The headlines. I'm Pio Ontiveros. Tonight on the program, Cesar Montano is out of the Tourism Promotions Board, but not out of the woods just yet, in particular with the Ombudsman and the Commission on Audit. A year after the Battle of Marawi, the grim search for the missing continues. And on a lighter note, the best of Filipino films this year, all nominees in the Gawad Urian Awards. A day after President Duterte accepted actor Cesar Montano's resignation as head of the Tourism Promotions Board, an official of the agency says this is a welcome development. Our AC Nichols reports Malacanang is leaving it up to the Ombudsman to look into the alleged irregularities of the TPB.
A tourism official describes actor Cesar Montano's resignation as Tourism Promotions Board or TPB chief as the best move, at least to his former co-workers. TPB Deputy Chief Maricon Ebron says the agency's officials and employees are taking his sudden exit well. Ebron says TPB staff are looking forward to promoting the country without having to deal with other issues.
tainted yung name namin. No? We don't want that to happen because ISO certified kami. So, you know, we have always been very professional in promoting the Philippines. And that's part of our mandate really is that, you know, we develop the country as a main tourist destination in Southeast Asia. Yeah. Talagang, it's a welcome development.
Montano had faced complaints and issues since assuming office in 2016. This includes a supposed rushed speech at a Philippine tourism presentation in New York so he could watch a Broadway musical. He is also under investigation for supposedly approving, without proper bidding, the multi-million Buhay Karinderya project to promote Filipino home-cooked meals. Following his resignation on May 21st, Montano recommends the 3 highest-ranking TPB officials to be designated officer in charge, including Ebron. Ebron is hoping someone from the ranks will replace Montano to avoid mistakes in operations.
Dapat siguro the president or whoever appoints a new one should really choose someone who knows the job and who come from the ranks or perhaps from the private sector who already know how, you know, the dealings of this office is.
Aside from Buhay Karinderya, Ebron says the Montano-led TPB spent millions on projects without proper bidding and were not approved by the board of directors. One that supposedly cost 15 million pesos was a video production to promote diving in the country. Ebron says the production group was from Hong Kong.
We should get from here because if you have to procure that, dapat i-bid yun. There are other suppliers of the same. Hindi unique sa kanila yon.
In the meantime, Malacanang is leaving it up to the Ombudsman to look into the alleged irregularities.
The Ombudsman has a constitutional mandate to conduct preliminary investigation to determine if they should be charged in court for violating the anti-graft law.
CNN Philippines is reaching out to Montano for his side but has yet to get a response. AC Nichols, CNN Philippines.
It was Tourism Secretary Berna Romulo Puyat who confirmed to CNN Philippines last night that Montano resigned. When pressed for more details, Puyat said, quote, "I would like to consider this matter closed from my active involvement, but I trust that COA or Commission on Audit will get to the bottom of this episode," unquote. The Filipino community in Ireland mourns a Filipino student who was found dead by authorities in Dublin. They held a mass for 24-year-old Justine Valdez, who was earlier reported kidnapped and found dead near Dublin on Monday. In a statement, Philippine Foreign Affairs Chief Alan Peter Cayetano says, quote, "We grieve with the loved ones of Justine Valdez, someone so young and so full of promise who was suddenly taken away from them," unquote. Cayetano said the Philippine Embassy in London and the Honorary Consulate in Dublin have been monitoring the case. Talks about possible assistance to the family of Valdez are ongoing. Authorities say Valdez was abducted by a 40-year-old local man. According to witnesses, a woman matching the description of Valdez was seen being bundled into a car Saturday evening. Police tracked down the vehicle on Sunday and said that and fatally shot the suspect. The Foreign Affairs Department also sends its condolences to the families of two overseas Filipino workers who were killed in a fire in Saudi Arabia. Authorities identified the victims as Jesse Alata Pacetes and Reynaldo Baroga Castro. They died in a fire suspected to have been caused by faulty electrical wiring. The two victims were heavy equipment operators at a construction company. They were working on a road project in the city of Najran. Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano says his office is working on the return of their remains. We appreciate all your online comments on our top stories tonight. Keep them coming to our pages at CNN Philippines. We're also live right now on Facebook. Here today's global headlines. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence warns North Korea that it could end up like Libya if it fails to make a nuclear deal with the United States. Pence spoke in an interview that aired Monday on Fox News. When it was noted that the comparison could be interpreted as a threat, Pence replied, quote, "Well, I think it's more of a fact," unquote. U.S. President Donald Trump's National Security Advisor John Bolton was the first to make a comparison between North Korea and Libya. A North Korean official said Bolton's comments were indicative of an quote, awfully sinister move against the regime of Kim Jong-un. Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi agreed to abandon his nuclear ambitions in exchange for sanctions relief in the early 2000s. Within years, Gaddafi was overthrown and killed by rebels backed by Washington, D.C. The United Nations warns that the production and trafficking of methamphetamine or meth in the Mekong Delta of Southeast Asia is rising at alarming levels. The area has long been notorious for opium and heroin, especially the so-called Golden Triangle of Laos, Myanmar, and Thailand. But experts say organized criminal groups have invested in meth as a response to market forces. It's also easy to hide and move the laboratories where the drug is made. The warnings about the escalating drug trade came during a meeting of drug and law enforcement officials in Myanmar's capital. The UN's Office on Drugs and Crime says the regional drug market for both heroin and methamphetamine is estimated to be worth around $40 billion. And Starbucks stores in the U.S. are now open to all, no purchase necessary. The company informed employees on Friday that people can gather in their cafes and patios even if they don't buy drinks. Store bathrooms are also available to everyone. The policy change follows an uproar over the way two black men were treated at a Starbucks in Philadelphia last month. One of the men asked to use the bathroom, but an employee told him it was only for paying customers. When the pair then sat in the store without ordering anything, the manager called police and the men were arrested for trespassing. No charges were filed. Starbucks later apologized to the men and said it will close 8,000 U.S. stores on May 29 for racial bias training. The royal wedding is not over just yet. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have released official photographs taken on their wedding day. CNN's Anna Stewart has more from Kensington Palace in London.